Hello, everybody. Welcome to What We Are Watching. I'm Catherine.
It's Liz.
And I'm Ed.
And John.
Nice. Okay, so we're all here, all four of us. How nice. And who wants to go first? I mean, I could go first or someone else.
Yeah, go for it.
What? Oh, no.
What are you, Catherine, what is your deal? You don't like it when you go first,
I know, but then
you
I often
insist
do.
on it.
No, but I don't actually want to because I have like kind of a dark thing.
Well,
so it's not a fun thing off the top. Okay, go.
I don't have something super fresh. It's from this year, which, this year's getting along in its months. But it's called Book of Love, and I watched it on Amazon. And it is, I don't 100% know that it is original to Amazon, but that's where I found it. That's where you can find it streaming now. It's a rom-com, a la John. I'm stealing your spot in the review.
Everyone should enjoy it. No one steals anything.
And it definitely didn't feel far enough away from, I cannot remember the name of the other, the storyline. It was a storyline from Love Actually where the guy is like learning Portuguese.
Yes, correct.
For the girl that's like, cleaning his house.
Catherine,
right?
don't pretend like you know.
Yes.
What?
So-
I do totally know.
There's some element of like a language barrier and I'm not exactly sure how this is going down, but that's not at all what happens. It's like actually a very hysterical situation. And the premise of the entire movie is that a failing author, go ahead and everybody look it up, a failing author in a category, trying to get a second book out and having the struggles that you usually would as an author, especially if you're going to have a movie about you.
Book of Love, because it's a woman or a man? Who's the author?
The original author is a man.
Okay.
And then it's translated into a romance novel. Unfortunately, he doesn't realize that, so off the movie plot goes where the misunderstanding and then she rewrote his book better and now it's a huge hit in Spain and he's got to go because there's a thing and he's like, my book is hitting the Spanish translation. This is great.
And
it's
not
he's
really
doing
your
a
book.
he's doing
God.
a very, very boring book. She did not, so that's very fun.
Oh, that's
to watch.
fun.
And it wasn't like starring anyone that I recognized or knew or directed by anyone. I mean, Sam Claflin, who plays the main, you'll recognize him, but it's not like I saw that and was like, oh, I need to go track down what he's in. I saw the plot and I'm like, sure, I'll do a rom-com with a little, maybe there'll be some subtitles, maybe not. I think that might be my only note on the movie as I watched it. Yeah, some subtitles are fine, as opposed to previously Big Bug, which was way too many subtitles in French and very fast. And so this was like half of it's in English. This is great.
Well,
and subtitles are fine.
Yeah, subtitles, I can handle a light version.
Yeah.
When it's the whole thing, it's a little bit much. I do have a question. So Lucy Punch is in it. I'm looking at the cast. I love her. She is ridiculous and hilarious. She was in Bad Teacher. She was like, I want to say Amy, who was just losing her mind over Cameron Diaz being like, this annoying teacher who comes in. I love her so much. Also, she was in Elle Enchanted. Who was she in this whole scheme?
She plays the perfect literary agent
to
him, who is absolutely on board for this new direction that your book has taken, and we're just going to lean into it. And yes, we're unaware that it's completely different translation than your original.
Funny.
We're making money. We don't care. So it's very on point for your publicist to be like, I don't care. Book selling.
It's working? Great.
Go get
Keep going.
Go get in the front of that.
All right, great.
But yeah, so in general, it was just a fun, short, rom-com. Didn't take much effort to watch, and at the end of it, it didn't need to be talked about for like a month and a half on the podcast. It wasn't like,
But I could go watch it now.
But you could totally, it's like a great, like, light,
The Book of Love.
The Book of Love, yeah.
On
Love
Amazon.
it.
Actually, not The Book of Love, just Book of Love. And it's on Amazon.
Love it. Okay. I mean, I'm going to
Hugely popular, 5.5 out of 10.
Oh my God. Ed.
I'm saying I watched it going in with a low expectation. Clearly, getting agreement.
No, but you enjoyed it.
But I
you're
enjoyed
saying.
it, and that was
Okay.
the
Well, Lucy Punch, I would watch it just to see what she's up to because she cracks me up
Okay.
so much.
All right.
She's very, very funny.
All right, what was this dreary thing that you were watching,
no.
Catherine?
Okay. All right. I mean, I did not undersell it. I don't know if any. Okay,
Geez,
so
what?
This is par for the Catherine course that I'm switching channels and I come across something kind of in the middle and I'm like, oh no, now I need to watch this. It's Phoenix Rising and it's the Evan Rachel Wood's documentary about her and Marilyn Manson. It blew my mind.
That's in my queue.
What is that on?
It's on HBO. So we have, a bunch of cable subscription, whatever. So I will just see things.
HBO or HBO Max?
It's definitely available on HBO Max, but I stumbled onto it on HBO, and that's how I ended up watching
Okay,
it.
is it a series or?
It's a 2-part documentary, so it's just going to be these 2 parts from what I understand. And they're both an hour plus. And ironically, I think I even picked it up in the middle of part 2. I was like, what? Oh my God, what? Because quite publicly, she did not name who her abuser was. She had said that she had some trauma and had never said who it was specifically. I mean, people had kind of guessed that it might have been him.
Yeah.
But just because of the timing of it and what was going on in her life, but she was very careful, and she gets into a lot of why she really didn't get into it and was scared to out him. But
then she was a huge advocate.
So even before she outed him, she was an advocate and put together a group of women, other survivors of domestic, abuse, basically. And they lobbied to have the statute of limitations changed.
Wow.
They were not as successful as they had hoped. I think it was something ridiculous, like it's 1 to 3 years. So 3 years.
You have to press charges.
Yeah, that you have to.
Okay.
And I think they wanted it to be unlimited, and they did manage to get it to maybe 7 years at the maximum end of it. That is part of the documentary. They talk about that a lot. It was heartbreaking and fascinating, and she is amazing, and it was really worth watching. And she's not the only victim specifically of Marilyn Manson, and a bunch of them are in this. And there's at least one person from the road, tour that has come out and said these women are not lying, because that's the other thing. His fans have been brutal and just it's terrible. But I'm very impressed by her, and that she's nobody needs to have to go through this, and when you have to publicly deal with it, oh my God.
Because she's been around as a child actress for pretty much, because her mom is an acting coach.
Well, apparently her because they get into her family a little bit. Apparently her family was very involved in theater. So they were putting on plays and things like that. And then she came out to California with her mom. The parents separated, and they came out when she was quite young. And her big breakout was 13.
Yeah, I actually met her mom because when I was working with the Kardashian Jenners and they were filming their show on E, Kylie at one point wanted to meet with an acting coach, and the mom has an acting studio right here in Woodland Hills.
Really?
And we went there for Kylie to sort of on camera discuss, just her ambitions or how it would work. And she seemed like a really cool lady.
Yeah, she's in it. She did seem very cool, very supportive. I mean, I think for sure the family had weird troubles, just well, being an artist and raising kids, you just it's where does the paycheck come from, or how you're supporting your family. And then if your kids get in the industry, it's always, kids in the industry can be rife with issues. But I did see that. I do want to watch it because I follow Rachel Evan Wood on social. Yeah, I
she's
was completely
incredible
unaware of it.
Singer.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. She has a gorgeous voice. And obviously, we all watched, or I'm assuming we all did. We all watched Westworld, right?
Oh, yeah.
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 Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think
What show?
Westworld.
Oh, right.
Which she was awesome in.
Yeah.
Plays pretty much the central character in it.
Yeah. And weirdly, sexual trauma is a big part of that character's arc.
True, the parallels.
Well, and not to ruin anything for those of you who haven't watched it, she really plays a lot more of that character as the series progresses. Main character in the first season, second season really develops that bigger and bigger. Third season, hurry up and get to the fourth season already. I need to know what's happening.
Yeah. I was just kind of feeling like it was such a gift that she managed to survive the situation, get out of it in a way that she was intact enough to continue working, and that Westworld was such a huge hit. It gave her so much,
a platform, really.
Yeah, like and like some cushion and protection, you know,
Right.
because it's really. I guess her team forever, ever has been like, no, don't talk about this. Don't it just like
Do
really
not make it public.
They didn't want that to be part of her narrative. They didn't want to have to deal with it. They didn't want, and you know, when you watch this, you realize it's such a huge part of what she's been dealing with for so many years. It's
But usually, you know, when you have a story similar to this, sometimes you need someone with her caliber.
100%.
Because the other women who are less known or not publicly known at all do not feel like they have the voice to come out against a big public figure. So a lot of times it takes someone like her to be brave enough to say, I'm going to speak out.
Yeah.
And then what's so comforting probably to her is that she finds out there's other people that, you know,
For sure.
similar stories, and they can talk and relate to each other about it.
Yeah, I mean, so that was my point. I feel like the gift of Westworld was giving her so much clout that she could feel protected enough to do this because she really needed to. I mean, you can really tell that this was something that she struggled with for a long time, and being able to do it, I think, is going to change everything. Like it makes her life
The statute
easier.
of limitations element is big because, you know, there are women that are certainly not famous or well known at all that this impacts their lives, and they've said that women or people that experience trauma, sexual or abuse, a lot of times they're not ready to deal with it right away.
It can
or
take
in the
years
time
to
frame
process.
that, you know, the statute of limitations would have run out, and then therefore, you know, when they decide that they want to speak up or have a voice or go to the police, it's
They have
too
no
late.
chance,
They
yeah.
have no chance. So
Yeah, she did say, you know, this won't affect her and most of his other victims that you know, that she was talking to.
And is that all still alleged with him? Has there been any legal action
There
against
is
him?
an investigation going
got
on
it.
now. So
Okay,
I think
got it.
I mean, I think that's current information.
Okay.
So I don't think there's any actual charges that have been brought against him. I could be wrong about that, but her main point was pushing for this extension or, you know, change in statute of limitations won't affect her because she's out of it even with the new, you know, longer window, but just make it more feasible for
Yeah.
women to have gone through trauma to get out, get safe, get to a point where they can just psychologically even deal with talking about it and
Right.
dealing with it and then pursue some kind of legal action. I mean, a 3-year window was not possible for most victims.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, there can be an element of like shame, but like there's no shame that it happened to you. It's a shame if it affects and dictates the rest of your life and you feel like you have no way of controlling it. And these statute of limitations give back some power to these people.
Yeah. Well,
to
and I
be
mean,
able to do
even
something.
even just getting into a safer place. It's
Yeah.
so hard to get to a place where they are safe or feel safe from whoever the abuser is. And
And if
particularly
they're part of some big machine.
Yeah,
I mean,
in her
there's a
case.
lot of documentaries that are coming out right now. There was that awesome Cosby one that came out.
yeah, that multi-part Cosby one.
Yeah, and the Playboy Mansion one is really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I don't
And
even know
it's-
about that one.
And a lot of times it's women feeling powerless and feeling like they have no voice and that the system doesn't back them up. So it's
For
pretty
sure.
amazing that she did this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. I mean, you know, again,
So Phoenix Rising on HBO.
yeah, difficult to watch, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like incredibly important, and I'm so amazed by her. So, it
Evan
was
Rachel Wood.
Evan Rachel Wood. Good for you, girl.
Powerful
And,
woman.
Yeah, we are behind you. Whatever you need, whatever we can do. I mean, just
Please watch Phoenix Rising.
yeah. Please watch Phoenix Rising. Okay, so that's what I watched.
John, my segue would be way too weird after that. So you go next.
Sure. Well, who wants to talk about action movies?
Yeah, we do.
Apparently always me. So I've been working on for the last, I don't know, year or so. You know, I love to rewatch, and you know, then if you get into a kind of a franchise or a series, sometimes that can be challenging. So you're like, oh well, I want to rewatch it for free. So I had gotten stuck. All right, so I'm talking about both, but the one I most recently watched was the third film, Angel Has Fallen, of the Has Fallen series.
What? Oh my
Yeah.
God. You
So
are
we're
so
talking
hilarious.
about Gerard Butler being a Secret Service agent.
There's 3 of them?
Yeah, soon to be a 4th.
No, there's not 3 Gerard Butlers, although that would be awesome.
I mean, we could use 3.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, if you say so. But yeah, I'd gotten stuck on London Has Fallen. That was like not free for a long time. And then finally it was free in the last month or two. So I
And
watched
did you,
that.
you only wanted to watch them in order?
I mean, because whatever. I don't know. That was just my choice at the moment.
Okay, got it. Wait, what was the first one?
It's Olympus Has Fallen.
Olympus Has
And
Fallen.
that's about Washington, D.C.
Right, the White House.
Okay,
And then the second one, London Has Fallen, it's because they're in London and London is having a problem. And then the third one, Angel Has Fallen, is takes a different turn. 'Cause
Is it heaven and hell? What do we know?
no, because then it's almost like his code name is Angel, which isn't really, but whatever, gets sort of used in the film. So it's that he is being accused, and so therefore he has fallen.
So he's got a.
He's got to prove his innocence.
Oh my! And there's a 4th one in the works.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. The third one.
What is he?
Wait, hold on.
Is he
Did you
CIA?
just spoil the 3rd one by letting us know that there's a 4th one where he obviously clears his innocence?
But look,
I think
we're
we'll
talking
be
about
okay.
movies and movie series. So yes,
Yeah.
frequently they continue. Main characters. I mean, look, sometimes main characters do die. You're right. Not so in this.
They will try and figure out a way to make it work for another one.
So yeah, so this third one, it does have a different feel because look, the whole series has different things are happening because there's so far there's been a different director for each one. There was the same wife in the first 2, Rhoda Mitchell, one of my favorites, but then she was not in the third one. It was Piper Perabo for the third one. Whatever, she's great too.
But did they address it or same name?
No, moved on.
Okay.
Just
And
don't worry
then,
about
Very
it.
soap opera.
Yep.
The part of Angel's wife we played today by Piper Perabo.
Yeah, so similar but different. The president was Aaron Eckhart in the first 2, and they don't talk about that like. In the third one, he's not president anymore. It's Morgan Freeman, who was previously like Speaker of the House.
He always
and then-
plays the president. What the heck?
Okay, well, he didn't in the first 2, but now in the third one, he is the president. But the director for the third one, so 2 things happen in the third one that kind of take it in a different place. Because you already have this fun series. Gerard Butler is doing a good job at being, kind of a badass Secret Service agent. But that's actually a third thing that really got changed up in this third movie. So you have a different director, Rick Roman Wow, if I'm saying that correctly. And he's kind of he's becoming well known as an action director. He had kind of an underground hit Felon that was amazing with Val Kilmer and Stephen Dorff. And then he did a couple other ones, and then including Snitch and Shot Caller, which are both very good. And then he did Angel Has Fallen with Gerard Butler, and then he did another Gerard Butler movie, Greenland. And then he's going to do the 4th one. So anyway, he is quite good, that director. Formerly in stunts, and so he's got, real background, well, if you were on Days of Thunder, you kind of know something about action movies, I'm assuming. And Last Action Hero and Gone in 60 Seconds.
Okay.
So the other thing is they brought in a new character in the third one. Nick Nolte is Gerard Butler's dad. And honestly...
Now you've got me. Now I'm intrigued.
He is incredible. He is so good. It's so amazing.
What does he play?
He's his dad. He's like a Vietnam vet.
He plays his dad?
Yes. Fully left him as a child because he couldn't deal with his, then unknown, but PTSD from Vietnam. And he is so good. It also, the end of the movie, the actual end, mid-credits sequence or whatever, or I guess, no, it's not even it. It's just the last scene right before the credits, it really, for me, just takes the journey to the end and puts such a great button on the end. It's so fantastic, but I won't ruin it.
Yeah, don't ruin it.
You need to experience it from the whole movie. You can't skip ahead. But
and he's not reprising his role from Tropic Thunder.
No, I mean that is
Which was awesome.
it's similar. Look, you're getting a fun, wild. I mean, his hair in this movie is out of hair, beard. For the first 2/3, it's like he's never taken a shower. It's great. And then he does take a shower, and it's it's still crazy. But so it's amazing. Nick Nolte in this it was so surprising because maybe you saw the I mean, look, this movie's from 2019, so it's not recent, but. Maybe you'd seen the preview beforehand and it was oh, Nick Nolte's in it? That's weird. But then when you went into the movie, you're like, this is perfect. Thank
is
God.
exactly what we need from
This
Nick
is so
Nolte.
amazing.
So if it's 2019, where can you watch it?
Right now, I think it is on Hulu and other places.
And I want to know because you said there is 3 in the series so far. I think I did by chance maybe watched the first one, but it's been a while. Could I skip to the third one just to get my dose of Nick Nolte?
I mean, you could, for sure.
Are they a little standalone?
Yeah, I mean, look, yes, for sure. I mean, look, it's not that there's so much backstory, although currently both Olympus Has Fallen and London Has Fallen are on Netflix. So currently, at this moment, until maybe the end of April or whenever things change, they're all free. So good luck.
The third one is where?
Hulu, like I said.
Oh, okay. I am intrigued because Nick Nolte, that roped me in. I'm curious.
It's so amazing.
And I love Gerard Butler.
Well, wait, I have another cast question. What about Tim Blake Nelson?
Look, I love Tim Blake Nelson. He's playing, kind of a...
He's like the vice president or something?
Yeah, very DC hustler. That's not my favorite part of the movie, but he's fine.
Right. Okay. I mean, I do like, he just pops up everywhere.
Yeah, he's
and
great.
You're like...
look, I'm just saying, unfortunately, in this aspect, this was not my favorite moment of his.
Got it.
Yeah, because I think some of you kind of think of Tim Blake Nelson more in the...
Coen brothers. Yeah. Like
so
the Coen
like,
brothers, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, but listen, big budget movies in a JOB, I get it. And he is definitely one of those usually solid, unique actors.
Yeah, no, he was good in it, but it was just, I don't know, whatever. Look, that's just my opinion. The third thing in this for me was they really, I mean, look, the personal aspect was always coming into play for Gerard's character, Mike Banning. But in this one, you got a whole new angle because, look, they really allowed the character to age. And it's like, well, Gerard's not a 30-something Secret Service agent that can just, bounce back after every, knockdown.
Oh.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And it really worked. It added a different aspect. I mean, it wasn't, I don't know. It was good. I felt in this one it really worked. I thought
slightly new dimension added. Nice
for the series.
All right.
Wow.
So there you go. That's I mean, obviously that was exactly the direction this episode was going in. So
Has Fallen is the series. Okay.
Yeah,
or the
it's
trilogy.
funny.
It's about 4.
Well, because that's always the second 2 words or the second of the 3 words of the title. So yeah, theoretically the fourth one which might be next year, it might be Night Has Fallen. We'll find
I
out.
like that.
No, John,
title.
obviously
Go
you're
for it.
setting it up. You said that he's getting up there in years as an agent. The fourth one is obviously going to be and can't get up.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Or more likely,
I've fallen and I can't get
I was going to say, and more likely it'll be him training a new agent.
That's
or something
coming for sure. At some
I
point.
refuse to speculate.
Okie dokie.
Oh my
Then
gosh.
you don't need to. Okay, Liz, you're up.
Yeah, so I have been watching 2 things. One of them, Hulu, The Dropout, which is
Right.
Elizabeth Holmes. I
Yeah,
think
me
I've talked
too.
about this before. But, Hulu's doing its classic rollout, Handmaid's Tale, where it's 1 a week on Hulu.
It's kind of good, and it's also kind of terrible. I mean, I find that I do like that it stretches out because otherwise I just binge things and I'm done in 2 days,
But I did sit down last week's episode. I'm like, ready for it. What? Wait, what day does it drop? And I was off by a day. I was a day early.
Oh. Yeah, I think I'm 1 shy of current.
But, I don't, there seems to be a trend. I don't, who's greenlighting shows, but there is a lot of the con artist, the grift, the swindler.
Oh, for sure.
Vertical that's happening on all these streaming
The
channels.
Tinder swindler?
Tinder swindler.
Well, I was going to mention
The Bad Vegan, which.
Oh, I don't know The Bad Vegan.
And some of them, the character they think, because they are documentary or they're docuseries, you think they want you to be sympathetic toward a particular character, and you're like, it's not working. Like, I'm not actually. The Bad Vegan was definitely one, and that's on, I think, Netflix.
Is that scripted or is that documentary?
It's documentary, and it's about a restaurant in New York that basically the head chef, owner of it, gets taken in by somebody, and what happens to the downfall of a restaurant. But you're like, wow, you made so many bad decisions and people were warning you right and left. And Tinder swindler is the same way. There's just a lot. What we just dealt with Anna Delphi, which is the ADF. You are poor.
Sure.
I don't have time for you. Even that element, the people got taken in by her. So that's
Well, there's 2 other ones that are so right in this vein too. The WeWork one, which is I think we failed.
We crashed.
No, we crashed. And then also the Uber one.
yes.
Super pumped.
Super pumped.
Yeah, so this is just something like I said. I don't know who's in development, but there was a lot of green lighting around these.
Yeah, particularly
both scripted
The
versions of
scammy,
them.
the scammy CEO is
Right.
is right in this niche of Dropout too.
So Dropout, I've always been intrigued by, based on, I think, the Vanity Fair article going way back.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's very well done. I think by the, it's how many episodes? I mean, I think it's only 8.
I think it's only going to be 8, and all of them are basically going to be out very soon, if not now.
But what's interesting is that just recently, her real life Elizabeth Holmes verdict was decided and she was found guilty.
Wow.
So whether or not, and Sonny, who was her COO, who was also her longtime boyfriend, and that's something that she kept secret in real life from the board, which, not cool. His trial's coming up too.
Wow.
But it's not a good indication if she was found guilty.
No.
She tried to put all the responsibility on him. So it's going to be sticky to see how that shakes out. But it's very fascinating to see sort of like the fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
But what levels people will go, and where all of a sudden the toe tips over into the fraudulent.
Yeah.
And decision gets made that can risk people's lives and livelihoods and things like that. So, and the lead actress who's playing Elizabeth Holmes is doing a fantastic job.
Amanda Seyfried.
It's almost like there's a difference with these stories that we're hearing. It's not fake it till you make it. It's fake it till you break it. Oops.
Very accurate. I mean, listen, I am sure that tons of success stories are similar to this, but they just got by the skin of their teeth and pulled it out and made it. And this did not happen. And when you're talking about diagnosing people, and it's just crazy. So that's one I'm watching with my husband.
Oh.
And we're thoroughly enjoying it. And you shake your head a lot like, wow, my God, they were just flagrantly lying. Like, it's just crazy. And, because she could just kind of domineer with her weird voice.
The voice is hilarious.
Her voice, like, Mr. Schultz, Secretary Schultz, I think we're going to pull this off. It's just so odd. I mean, there's just so many levels of it. You're like, yeah. And it's like, you were a college dropout first year. Like, there's an element of like, you are not an engineer. There was so much odd narrative that went around her to make this happen. It's crazy. But, she'll be sitting with Bill Clinton, president. I don't think he was the president at the time, but Bill Clinton. And, they do a great sort of Forrest Gump where, it really looks like she's sitting with him.
She's with him.
Yeah, It's great. So that's 8 episodes. And actually, the last episode, episode 8, is called Lizzie, everybody. So I'm just saying.
I do want to call out Laurie Metcalf, who's
my God.
She is so good. And she's, you brought up the voice, which is what made me think of her, because, of course, she's the one who's like, she didn't have that voice. Like, what? I was like, what are you even doing?
Oh, there's a great scene where Elizabeth gets put on a board at Harvard, like medical, which you really are like, wow, do you just not vet people, or is it really just about money? I mean, and Laurie Metcalf's character basically says, like, you have to dress me as a doctor.
God,
we are not contemporaries.
Must have been losing her mind, this person in real life.
Oh, I think a lot of people were, but yeah, and there was a lot of people that really risked their entire careers to be the whistleblowers in this case, because people wanted to believe in her. And it is disappointing it wasn't true, because...
Well, and I think, the difference between this story and some of the other CEO, fake it till you make it, is, of course, this, like, it's a medical device and it doesn't work.
You can't false diagnose people. That has a level of responsibility that we can't just look the other way. So, fascinating. Dropout on Hulu, 8 episodes. I think all of them are available now. So... definitely, I think it's worth the watch.
Yeah, for sure.
She in real life was just found guilty, so put that kind of in the back of your...
I can't wait to finish it up. I do. Also, we should call out Stephen Fry is amazing.
He's actually,
and of course William H. Macy.
And the guy that plays Sonny is great. And
Nev Andrews,
yes,
he's
from
amazing.
Lost.
Ooh, he's so like wonderfully horrible. Like you just feel like, you're just, I don't know. You're just doing such a great job of being such a scammer part of this thing.
Their dynamic was so odd, and their age difference was kind of inappropriate. Like all of it really. You go, how did this happen? And then you watch and you're like, well, okay.
But you're saying there's a real world update that she actually got
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Guilty. So this limited miniseries might have a second season.
I'd be surprised, but yeah. No, so yes, in real life, it just came out that she was found guilty. I don't know when her sentencing is, because in the meantime, I don't know if she's gotten married, but she has she's had a child and kind of gone on in her personal life,
right,
in a very significant way. And her being found guilty will obviously cause a major interruption and all that. So there you go. Then in a very, different type of show, but also scripted, and all episodes available now. So I have almost binged all of them, but it's on everybody's Zeitgeist, or it's at least on mine, is Bridgerton.
Yeah,
This is
season 2 just dropped a couple weeks ago or whatever.
And we are having a different focus. It's the same family. So you have, the main family that even last season was the focus of the daughter coming out. So it's the Bridgerton family, but now it's sort of the sons. And it's back then, the male basically had to take over and run the household and all the finances. And the oldest son, Anthony, it's his search for a wife.
Right.
And
it's so funny. They say Antony. I'm like,
Antony.
Where's the H? No, Anthony? No, it's Antony.
Antony, you're right.
So, sorry, I'm also watching it. I'm not done, but yeah, I'm close-ish.
Two Sharma sisters,
they're
Edwina
great.
and Kate, that come out, that basically the younger sister is the one that's actually coming out. Kate decides that she's not here to come out. She's going to see her sister through this process to find a great husband. And Edwina gets chosen as the diamond of the season.
Yes.
So she is going to be able to pick from all the men. She is the top choice.
Yes.
And Antony is basically not wanting to marry for love, and that is a real problem. And of course, then you also have the storyline of Lady Whistledown.
Oh, yes.
The gossip columnist.
Penelope.
Who they revealed who she was last season.
Yeah.
So I'm not...
Oh, sorry.
No,
Yeah.
but we're not... If you haven't...
Yeah.
You should watch season
This
one.
is historical, so all these are facts. We could just look them up, right?
Yes,
None of
but
this is
season one was
factual.
really sexy and a lot of nudity, and oh my gosh, for sure you should watch it. But they revealed at the end of it who Lady Whistledown, the gossip
columnist, yeah.
who was secret, that was her pen name, Penelope, interesting, who she is.
Pen, like Penelope. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. You're so right.
So there's all these other stories. And one of the things I really do like, which they've done, and I won't go into too much about it, but they give background, because when you started season one, the patriarch of the Bridgerton family was passed away. And they
Right.
didn't really go into how or why or the timing of it. That's been kind of fascinating to give that backstory of why Antony is making some of the decisions he's making.
Yes.
Wait, was he on the Titanic? I'm just kidding. That's the Downton
no,
Abbey
it'd been the
story.
timing's not right. You're right. I was
also
like,
too
wait,
late.
Yeah, no. But it gives sort of the logic or why he's behaving the way or making the choices that he's making.
Yeah.
I thought the mom's arc got so much more depth because of that, which
for sure.
I loved.
I like that a lot too.
Yeah, so I thought going back and sort of giving the family history was just awesome. So, and the Sharma sisters are beautiful.
Yeah, Simone Ashley, who's the sister Kate, she
yeah,
was on
gorgeous.
Sex Education. And I didn't
Oh.
realize that because, obviously they're very different types of shows in terms of like style and mood and whatever. So I didn't even realize she's part of like a friend group that has some storylines in Sex Education. So I was familiar with her, and then seeing her in this, I'm like, oh my God, who is this? She is amazing. Oh, I do know her already. She's great.
And this is one of those shows with diversity in age, casting.
Love it.
Females, everything. And two of the characters, clearly the writers, maybe Shonda Rhimes, who we love. We did a huge fans podcast on Shonda Rhimes, who's the executive producer of the series, may have steered it in this direction, but Lady Danbury and the Queen are just chewing up the scenery with their
It's so
dialogue.
great,
I mean, they
though.
are just reveling. And she's got a cane, which I was like, oh, girl, that is such an homage to Debbie Allen in Fame.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yes, who actually, Grey's Anatomy, which I still watch, everybody. Debbie Allen is a central character and director on Grey's
it.
Anatomy. So I'm like, there are parallels here, because Lady Danbury, who's basically playing host to the Sharma sisters, so they can come out this season. They're staying at her house.
They've traveled to town to
Yes.
come out for this season.
She is just chewing it all up. And the Queen, who is just a very fabulous character. And she is actually, I was going to say, they are basing, I think, a spin-off series on a young queen.
What?
Yes. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a
Love it.
background series based on her. And it was announced she's
Queen Charlotte.
Queen Charlotte. So I think it's a young Queen Charlotte's backstory.
Oh my God, yes, please.
Yeah, oh, please.
Love it.
Because she makes a little references that she has a lot of children. she's the queen. There is no king. So how did that happen? So
he is around. I think he's ill. We see a little
that's
bit of him in the
right.
first season, I think.
Yeah, we've made little or no mention of him at all this second season. So that will be interesting. So there's just, I think they've delved into the other characters, which is like the overall story is Anthony trying to find a wife to be able to lead his family into the next phase. The Featherington family.
Featherington, yeah.
That was fascinating too, because that was a pickup from last season. That is a story that, you got to marry off your daughters. And if there's not a male leading the household, a distant relative comes in and takes it over.
Which felt very Downton Abbey.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And how that happened. So, and the mother, the matriarch of that family is...
Oh, she's hilarious.
She's doing fantastic work too. So it's just great escapism. Especially if you like any period piece,
Looks beautiful.
It's kind of surreal and
I don't feel like it's super authentic and historically correct, even in the
I don't
look
think
of
they're
it.
trying to be.
No.
Yeah.
Even in the look of it.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's like candy,
It's like the ideal version of that, but now we've put through a modern lens. So like I said, there is diversity that would not have existed before. And really a lot of the storylines are being led by women. It's very fascinating.
Love it.
And it's almost heightened in color even.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and the costumes and all that.
Everything's saturated. The story, the color.
The cleavage.
The
My God,
sexuality.
the boobs are just...
Some of the cleavage is a little
I'm like, how are
alarming.
you breathing? It's like up in
maybe
your
not.
neck.
I don't know.
So yeah, so highly recommended. It is on Netflix. You can stream the entire series now, season 1 and 2, and season 2 is 8 episodes.
Yep.
Yeah, love it. And we love Shonda Rhimes, so just well worth it.
And I love the idea of a Queen Charlotte spinoff. That's great.
That just got announced.
Yeah,
that's
that's
pretty
exciting.
cool too. Yeah, and I'm sure we'll be on Netflix. Go Shonda and her deal
yeah.
with Netflix. There you go.
That's so good for her.
So I'll wrap up. I watched The Dropout on Hulu, which should be all available by the time you listen to this podcast, and also Bridgerton on Netflix, which 8 episodes for season 2 is available, but you have not watched season 1. Highly recommend it. 2 seasons available now.
Yeah, love it. Okay, and I watched Phoenix Rising, which is the documentary about Evan Rachel Wood and her Marilyn Manson situation. Very, very good.
And her advocacy to change the statute of limitations.
Yes.
Fascinating.
And I watched Book of Love, which is on Amazon, and it's a rom-com. So, the opposite end of the spectrum from Catherine's.
Oh, sorry,
Perfect.
mine was on HBO.
With 5.5 stars, Ed, yours.
Yeah. No, it's like...
what are you giving it?
How many stars do you think all the...
How many would you give it?
I gave it 10. Because I laughed and I brought it to the podcast.
it was
Everything
very
on the
enjoyable.
podcast gets 10 stars.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
What is the rating system based on? Not discussing.
There you go.
And I watched Angel Has Fallen of the Has Fallen series. Angel Has Fallen on Hulu, the others on Netflix, if you so choose.
The first 2.
Gerard Butler.
Love it.
Love it.
All right, cool. Well, that's it for this episode of What We're Watching. Thank you for listening, and definitely like and comment and subscribe and give us a rating of 5 stars, please. And you can follow us on all of our socials, including our Patreon, which is Podcast Watching. So thanks for listening. This is What We're Watching.